In the quiet village of Elderswood, where whispers of the wind carried tales of the unseen, Sophia felt a calling that sent shivers down her spine. It was a feeling so potent, it thrummed through her veins like a forgotten melody. Who were the chosen ones, and what destiny awaited her? This was not just another spiritual awakening. It was the emergence of her truest self, revealing layers of wisdom and power she never knew existed. With each passing day, as ancient symbols appeared in her dreams and flickering shadows danced at the edges of her reality, Sophia began to understand that she wasn't merely a wanderer in the realm of existence, but a beacon of hope, meant to ignite a revolution of souls. Could she embrace this destiny and transform the darkness into light, while unearthing the secrets that bound her to the universe? In the small, picturesque town of Elderswood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, a soft mist clung to the earth as dawn broke, revealing the delicate beauty of the world. It was here that Sophia, a woman in her late 20s with an unassuming demeanor, felt drawn to the mysteries of existence that subtly, yet profoundly colored her days. She had always been different. While others went about their routines, their mundane tasks, and simple joys, she sensed a deeper connection to something unfathomable, something beyond the tangible. Sophia often wandered to the edge of the dark woods, where she felt the transcendent whispers of nature envelop her like a warm embrace. The trees stood tall, ancient guardians of wisdom, their leaves shimmering in the sunlight as though they were in conversation with the divine. It was during these solitary moments, surrounded by nature's wonder, that she first felt the stirrings of a spiritual awakening. But awakening is not a gentle affair. It often begins with unrest. As Sophia sat beneath the sprawling branches of an oak tree, she recalled a time when the world seemed simple, unmarred by the weight of destiny. She thought back to a childhood filled with laughter, fairy tales spun from the imagination, when she believed that the universe was a vast playground waiting for her to explore. Yet, as she matured, the innocence of those moments faded, replaced by doubt, fear, and the burdens of adult life. It felt like the soft rustle of leaves had turned into an echoing silence. Now, at the precipice of adulthood, Sophia yearned for understanding. Why did she sometimes catch glimpses of symbols in her dreams, celestial patterns, ancient runes, and ethereal light? These visions flickered at the edge of her consciousness, often leaving her breathless and bewildered. It was a feeling akin to standing before a door marked, "Do not enter," knowing there was something sacred hidden behind it, begging to be discovered. One fateful evening, entranced by the glowing hues of the setting sun, Sophia made her way into the heart of the forest. The air was thick with anticipation, as if nature itself held its breath in reverence. As she ventured deeper, she stumbled upon a circle of stones basked in vibrant light. The ground vibrated with an energy she had never felt before, and a deep instinct stirred within her, compelling her to step forward. It was there she encountered a hidden community of seekers, each person radiating a unique aura of light, bound together by a sacred purpose. They shared tales of their journeys, illuminating the road of self-discovery with the kindness of their openness. Some had endured great hardships. Others had been touched by divine encounters, all converging into this mystical realm where spirituality thrived. They called themselves the Chosen Ones, a title that sent shivers down her spine. Was it possible that she, Sophia, was meant to be among them? As the days unfolded, she found herself absorbed in their teachings, ancient wisdom passed down through generations. The interplay of dark and light, the dance of energy that shaped the universe, began to take root in her heart. Each lesson unearthed latent powers waiting to emerge, yet the flickering flame of self-doubt threatened to extinguish her newfound enthusiasm. Could she truly embrace this identity? What if she failed? Haunted by these thoughts, Sophia plunged into the depths of her insecurities, wrestling with the burdens of the past. She found herself at a crossroads, vacillating between the whispers of inner light and the daunting shadows of fear. Yet the more she learned, the more she recognized the potency of love and unity as tools to overcome the darkness that surrounded her. Just as she began to grasp the gravity of her calling, a shadow flickered across the shimmering light of their collective purpose. A dark force began to whisper through the streets of Elderswood, disrupting the harmony that had flourished amongst her newfound friends. The air thickened with a toxicity that crept beneath the surface, instilling doubt and confusion as it sought to extinguish their flames of hope. In the midst of this turmoil, Sophia received prophetic dreams, laden with mysterious symbols and encrypted messages that begged her to decipher their meaning. Would she find the strength to navigate the confluence of light and dark within her spirit? This was but the beginning of a journey she had never anticipated, one that would challenge the very essence of who she believed herself to be, forcing her to uncover the untold depths of her potential. Sophia stood at the edge of the gathering, feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed. The warmth of sunlight bathed her in a golden hue as the other chosen ones welcomed her with open arms, their smiles resonating with a sense of belonging that soothed the fears swirling within her. Yet, within the cocoon of their shared light, Sophia carried the weight of self-doubt. Why me? She pondered as she listened to their stories. Each tale of awakening was filled with pain, resilience, and ultimately transformation. There was Marcus, who had battled addiction and emerged cleansed by the fire of his trials, and Elena, who had escaped the clutches of a toxic relationship to rediscover her true self amid the chaos. Their journeys were powerful and inspiring, yet here she stood, questioning her own worthiness to be among them. As the sun dipped lower, casting elongated shadows over the gathering, a deep voice resonated through the air. It was Gabriel, the elder who seemed to embody wisdom itself, speaking of the collective mission they all shared. We are not merely individuals. We are a constellation of stars, united with a purpose that transcends our comprehension. Each of us has been chosen for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, for within you lies a light meant to illuminate the world. Sophia listened intently, but an inner voice echoed her fears. What if your light is a flicker? What if you struggle to shine? The uncertainty gnawed at her. Did she possess the courage to step into the fullness of her gifts? Was she really meant to confront darkness, to challenge the shadows that lingered? The sense of camaraderie that enveloped her provided a balm, yet she couldn't help but think of the dark forces that had begun to manipulate the energies of her town. Rumors of confrontations flowed amongst the community members, the unsettling rise of division and distrust that festered like a wound, undermining their shared purpose. This was not merely an existential quest. It was a battle requiring her to wield the courage that felt elusive, to embrace her truth amid the surrounding chaos. Driven by this moral force, Sophia recalled the moment she first felt the stirring of her spiritual awakening. It was a vivid memory, shimmering in her mind like a beacon guiding her home. She was 16, wandering through the dense woods one afternoon, her spirit longing for adventure. As she sat atop a fallen log, she encountered an old woman whose eyes radiated ancient wisdom. You are destined for greatness, child, but the path is fraught with trials. The woman spoke, her voice carrying the weight of ages. This encounter had planted seeds in Sophia's heart long before she had understood their meaning. Now, as she stood there among the chosen ones, she felt those seeds pulsating with life, whispering promises of awakening yet to come. They had become intertwined with her journey, now bursting forth with power, urging her to step beyond her limitations. As the gathering began to disperse, Sophia lingered, stepping to the edge of the clearing to be alone with her thoughts. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, the air filled with the fragrance of earth and blooming wildflowers. Suddenly, visions enveloped her, once more celestial patterns swirling, symbols of infinity dancing before her mind's eye. In this trance-like state, Sophia felt the pulse of the universe synchronize with her own heartbeat. She opened her eyes as if awakened from a dream, a profound understanding dawning upon her. Awakening was not solely about uncovering knowledge, but about embracing the deepest, perhaps most frightening, parts of oneself. With that recognition came the emerging understanding of her mission within the community. The whisperings of darkness would not conquer her spirit. She was destined to bring light into shadow, just as she had always felt drawn to. As she wove together her memories of trials and triumphs, resistance morphed into resolve. That evening, under the embrace of a starlit sky, Sophia turned to her companions, a circle filled with various spirits, each radiating a unique hue of light. Ashamed of her earlier woes, her voice trembled slightly as she spoke. "I believe I am meant to help us navigate this impending darkness. I don't know what lies ahead, but together we can harness our gifts to overcome it." A sense of awe washed over her. It was as if a chorus of luminous affirmation resonated through the group. She could see the flicker of determination ignite within each of their hearts, eyes gleaming with the fire of unity. It was in that moment that she realized each person held the key to liberation, not only for themselves, but for the collective. Confusion stepped aside, making room for clarity. Perhaps she was chosen precisely for this challenge, to illuminate the path for others who felt the same inner calling. Together, as one unified force, they could transform the struggle into strength. As Sophia returned to her home that night, newfound clarity christened her spirit. She felt an inexplicable connection to the ancient trees surrounding her, their whispers echoing through her core as if nature itself had welcomed her anew. Her purpose began to unfold, revealing fragments of a larger picture she had yet to grasp, but in that uncertainty was an exhilarating promise. The journey to becoming the chosen one had commenced. The days that followed were filled with transformation as Sophia and her newfound friends dedicated themselves to deepening their spiritual practices. Each morning, they gathered in the clearing under the watchful eyes of the ancient trees, reciting mantras that echoed through the stillness. These sacred words vibrated with energy, wrapping around them like a warm embrace, reminding them of the light within and the purpose they were forging together. Sophia, once filled with trepidation, found strength in their unity. The more they practiced together, the more their individual powers began to intertwine, creating a tapestry of energies that could influence the world around them. They performed meditative rituals by the riverbank, bathing in the gentle light that filtered through the leaves, anointing the waters with their intentions. One afternoon, as they sat upon the banks, Gabriel invited them to share their visions. "Tell me, what have you seen when you close your eyes? What whispers have reached your ears?" The question hung in the air, prompting each member to recall the divine messages they had received. When it was her turn, Sophia hesitated, but then felt the steady gaze of her companions encouraging her. "I keep dreaming of a great storm, clouds swirling, shadows creeping, and a piercing light trying to break through the darkness. There is a sense of urgency, as if something is coming that we need to prepare for," she confessed, her voice trembling slightly. Elena nodded, her expression thoughtful. "We are being called, Sophia. This storm may symbolize the dark forces we face, but it may also signify our opportunity to harness the light we cultivate among us. Each of our visions is a thread. Together, they weave the tapestry of our mission as they shared their dreams. An intricate picture formed, and the communal understanding deepened. Individual insights melded into a greater vision, illuminating paths that had been hidden until now. They discovered that each challenge they faced in their personal lives echoed the struggles of their mission. The resistance they met outside was merely a reflection of the doubts within. Yet even as Sophia felt galvanized by this revelation, there were moments when a shadow would creep back into her mind, whispering insidious doubts about her abilities. During meditation, she often found her thoughts slipping into insecurities. Who was she to lead? Was it truly her place to confront the darkness threatening their community? These doubts grew louder at night when the veil between the worlds felt thin. Prophetic dreams haunted her, warning of imminent danger, while urging her towards a greater purpose. On one particularly restless night, she awoke from a vision that left her breathless. In the dream, the dark force manifested as a towering shadow, a creature with piercing eyes that seemed to pull the very light from the surroundings. It called to her, promising safety, if only she would resign her power and conform. In the aftermath of these nightmarish encounters, Sophia turned to her companions, seeking warmth and hope. "I am frightened. The darkness feels so strong, so consuming. What if I cannot bear the burden it brings?" Marcus stepped forward, resting a steady hand on her shoulder. "Fear is a natural companion on this journey. Remember, we are not meant to walk this path alone. We have each other to counter the shadows. It's our unity that gives us strength. Embrace your fears, but do not let them define you. You are powerful, more than you know." As they formed a circle, clasping hands tightly, Sophia felt their energy merge, dissipating the shadows that clouded her mind. She closed her eyes and focused on the pulsating light emanating from each person's spirit. In that shared moment, she felt an indomitable force cradle her heart, an assurance that love was not just a concept, but a living energy they could wield. With renewed strength, Sophia plunged deeper into her spiritual studies. Each day, she unearthed more of the ancient teachings, discovering that symbols scattered throughout her dreams held profound meanings. She learned of the elements earth, air, fire, and water, and realized how each corresponds to her emotions and spiritual essence. In seeking to harness them, she discovered that her fears transformed into allies, guiding her toward the knowledge she sought. But just as her confidence grew, the threats lurking in Elderswood began surfacing more visibly. The community's spirit was palpable, but the outside world intruded with unrest. The townspeople whispered of misfortune, betrayal, and a growing sense of hopelessness. The connection between the dark force and the community's fears was undeniable. This was no mere spectacle of shadows. It was a darkness fueled by human doubt and unresolved trauma. One evening, while they basked in the ethereal glow of dusk, a chilling wind swept through the trees, whispering something unnameable. Gabriel's face grew solemn as he turned to them. "The integrity of our mission is tested, dear ones. We must forge ahead into the heart of darkness, for it is only through confrontation that we may uncover our true potential." Sophia felt a knot in her stomach. What does that mean for us? How do we confront what we cannot see? We gather our light and spread it like wildfire. We must begin with ourselves. Each of us has a part to play in rekindling hope for our community. Cry out for love, embody compassion, and let our light become a shield. Only then can we hope to dispel the storm looming above us, he replied, almost poetically, each word igniting a fire in Sophia's heart. Conflicting emotions surged within her, a sense of purpose thrust against the familiar tides of fear. Deep inside, she understood that this was a pivotal moment. The storm that lingered was not merely a metaphor, but an intricate part of their shared journey, a test of their resolve and a path to deeper understanding. As she looked around at the determined faces of the chosen ones, she knew she had to harness her voice into action for themselves, for the community, and for humanity itself. They were not mere individuals. They were a unified collective poised for transformation. Her heart swelled with courage, and in that solemn gathering, she vowed to stand tall against the storm. The days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, the sense of urgency intensified. Sophia and her friends embraced their roles as conduits of light, actively working to raise joy and dispel the rumors of darkness swirling within Elderswood. They organized gatherings at the community hall, welcoming anyone willing to join. Every week, they delved into transformational workshops, led meditations, and shared uplifting stories that kindled hope in hearts that had long been smothered by fear. During one such gathering, an elder who had been silent for many years finally rose to share her experience. The frail woman stood with quivering hands, her voice a fragile thread woven with sincerity. "My dear ones, there is a power in vulnerability. I too have known desperation, and it is through sharing our truths that we find solace. It is when we embrace our fears that we unveil the chains that bind us together. We can break their hold." The group listened intently, their hearts swelling with empathy. Sophia could feel the air crackle with energy, an invisible thread binding them in shared struggle and strength. Every voice echoed in the rafters of that hall, resonating as a symphony of authenticity, building a shelter against the emerging shadows. As they delved deeper, Sophia felt her own fears wavering, like a flame kept alive by the collective spirit. She began to share her dreams of the storm, interpreting them as a call not just to herself, but as a communal warning, a collective invitation to recognize the encroaching darkness and choose love over fear. We are not orphans in this battle. Our vulnerabilities can become our greatest strengths. When we gather our fears as one, we find the power to transform them into light. Just as shadows cannot exist where light shines the brightest, let us illuminate every corner of Elderswood, igniting the spark of hope. The cheers of agreement filled the room, leaving a lingering warmth that transcended apprehensions. Sophia felt empowered. Discord transformed into unity, and she began to believe in the unprecedented force they could become together. Yet, as euphoria permeated their efforts, the darkness outside began to manifest more aggressively. Rumors of misfortune and accidents increased among the townsfolk, breeding distrust and despair. During a moonlit gathering, shadows unfurled like a fog creeping toward their sanctuary. An urgent energy pulsed within Sophia, propelling her forward. "People are frightened," she urged. "We must protect the light we are creating and extend it beyond the walls of this hall. Let's reach into the heart of the town and embrace those who feel lost. We can show them the beauty of connection and the power of love." Her call resonated, igniting a fire in every soul present. Commitment flickered in their eyes, and together they planned outreach events that would bridge the gap between the community and the chosen ones. As they circulated through Elderswood, speaking to shops and families, snippets of hope began to emerge. They connected with those whose hearts felt burdened by loneliness or despair, inviting them to share their stories. In doing so, they unlocked hidden reservoirs of wisdom and courage that brought people together, stitching their broken hearts with threads of love. Yet, even as Sophia fought to spread light, the shadows darkened. She began receiving frantic messages during her meditations. Dark visions plagued her. Townspeople seemed to disappear into the fog. Each time she reached the depths of her mind to seek clarity, she was met with a deafening chorus of fears echoing back at her. The dark energies feeding upon their despair began to take shape, and she found herself wrestling with the very essence of her dreams. On one such night, amidst the silence, she found herself in a trance-like state. It was a vision that frightened her to the core. Within a great swirling tempest, she saw faces, people she recognized from town faces, twisted in anguish, glancing toward her with hollow eyes. They were caught in that storm. Sophia awoke breathless, heart racing, and knew in her bones they had to confront this darkness full on. Gathering her companions, she voiced her fears. "I fear we must face the storm we've been avoiding. It's grown ever larger, feeding on despair and our fears. We must act before it consumes the very spirit of Elderswood." Tension gripped the air as they realized the time for confrontation was nearing. Each person murmured their fears and visions, creating a tapestry of emotions. Marcus stepped forward, his jaw clenched with determination. "We will not stand idle. We will seek out the origins of this darkness. To extinguish the fire, we must dive into its source. We need to investigate stories of misfortune, find out where the darkness is entering our lives, expose it to the light. Sophia felt a swell of determination cracking the doubts that had begun to settle back in. We've shared our light, and now we must forge a path through the night. Together, we can experience the depths of this challenge with open hearts and unwavering love. Let us prepare ourselves for the shadows. We will face them not as individuals, but as a united collective. They made a pact, a promise beneath the watchful moon, to face the darkness together, side by side. With newfound resolve coursing through their spirits like a river, they spent the following days crafting a plan, a journey where they would confront both the external forces poisoning their beloved elders wood and the internal shadows lurking within them. As they prepared, every evening felt touched by a radiant glow. Sophia often returned to her dreams, deciphering the shadows and connecting with the powers enveloping her, uncovering the fear that must be faced and transformed. This was not merely a surface battle. It was a lesson in faith and strength that would forever alter the course of their lives. The reality was that darkness could not be banished simply by shining brighter. It had to be engaged, understood, and ultimately embraced as part of the holistic journey toward transcendence. With this knowledge, each member began to embrace their fears, letting them surface so that healing could commence. And in doing so, the storm itself began to shift ever so slightly, inviting resolution amidst the uncertainty. As the day of their confrontation with the darkness approached, an air of anticipation mingled with apprehension settled upon Sophia and her companions. They gathered for what they called the Circle of Truth, a sacred moment to share their deepest fears and reflections. Sitting in a circle under the verdant canopy of their forest sanctuary, a whisper of wind danced around them, as if nature itself was joining in their contemplations. Sophia took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath her, connecting her to the rhythm of all life. It was vital that they didn't just prepare their minds, but also their hearts for the journey ahead. Tonight, we lay bare our souls, the vulnerabilities we carry. In this sharing, let us transform our individual shadows into a collective light. Only together can we confront the darkness that seems to be creeping into our town's soul. She spoke, her voice steady yet soft, a channel of encouragement. One by one, her friends shared stories of fear and uncertainty. Elena spoke of her history of feeling unloved, while Marcus unleashed the burden of guilt tied to his past choices. Each revelation was like an ember glowing bright, reminding others of the transformative power of vulnerability. The stories, woven together with compassion, allowed them to connect on a deeper level, illuminating the layers of their shared humanity. As Sophia listened, she felt an intense awareness washing over her, recognizing that their collective fears were the very shadows standing in the way of their mission. In that moment, she recalled the symbolism from her dreams. The storm represented not only the darkness they faced, but also the release of their pent-up emotions. They were empowered to harness the transformative energy into something beautiful. With the sharing complete, a quiet reverence hung in the air as Sophia sensed a shift, a collective realization that each fear expounded upon was a thread of potential waiting to manifest into strength. Together, they transformed the atmosphere, wrapping fear in layers of love and hope as tears began to flow freely, giving release to burdens that had been silently carried. "Let us seal the circle with an intention," Marcus suggested as he stepped into the center, raising his arms to the sky. "We shall not be defined by our fears nor our pasts. We rise together, ready to embrace the darkness and transmute it into light. May our combined energy illuminate any shadows trying to take hold of Elderswood." Sophia felt the collective heartbeat of her companions echoing her own rhythm that signaled resolve. They closed their eyes and visualized the storm that had long plagued their town, now replacing it with visions of radiant light, pouring forth from their united spirits. As they stepped out of the circle, a sense of newfound determination coursed through them. The atmosphere pulsed with potential as dusk gently settled over Elderswood, thickening with the promise of change. They knew that the time had come to embrace their mission with courage and compassion, but even that knowledge ignited flickers of doubt in Sophia's heart. That night, sleep eluded her as those familiar whispers returned, echoing through the silence of her mind. She envisioned the dark force as a looming shadow, a creature she feared she could not confront, and imagined the faces of those she would leave behind. What if this mission cost her everything? Amidst her anxiety, Sophia was suddenly pulled from her tormented thoughts by a profound insight. The very nature of her doubt was rooted in the fear of separation, of stepping into the unknown without bringing everyone along. It wasn't about conquering the darkness. It was about being the light that inspired others to awaken. It was then that she made a commitment to follow her heart, the one that truly called her to elevate and unite rather than combat. Sophia awoke with the dawn, filled with resolve. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees, she felt lighter, liberated from the weight of past fears. In that moment, she knew they were ready, not just to face the darkness, but to embody the light they had summoned collectively. The chosen ones assembled at the clearing, dressed in flowing robes adorned with symbols of unity and power. As they joined hands, a ring of luminous energy enveloped them, a potent reminder of their shared purpose. In silence, they set off towards the heart of Elderswood, steadily climbing toward the confrontational point, the center of the darkness. As they walked, sparks of energy danced around them. The forest brightened, revealing secrets hidden amidst the shadows. Graffiti and markings of despair radiated around their journey, a reminder of the struggle the community faced. Yet, even before reaching the core, Sophia could feel a palpable change in the air. The weight of fear seemed to lighten, giving way to invigorating hope. Arriving at the town square, they were met with tension, a gathering of townsfolk anxiously discussing whispered fears. The palpable energy vibrated with uncertainty, and in that moment, Sophia realized they needed to restore light, not only amongst their group, but to everyone standing before them. Gathering her courage, she addressed the crowd. "Dear friends, we stand together not merely as chosen ones, but as neighbors, as family united by love. We have walked through our fears to bring light to the darkness that seeks to divide us. Let us remember the power of our collective spirit, for together we can transform shadows into hope. Join us in embracing love, and together we will awaken the light within." As she spoke, a hush fell over the gathered crowd. People began to nod, connecting quietly with the unity Sophia encouraged. They stepped forward, hand in hand, creating an ever-growing circle, allowing the energy they had cultivated to ripple outward. Suddenly, the ground shook beneath them. The rumbling echoed the darkness that threatened their unity. An uncanny chill sliced through the air, a manifestation of their collective fear. Sophia felt her heart race, instinctively stepping forward as a surge of energy flowed through her. She resolutely proclaimed, "We face not just shadows, but ourselves. Fear thrives in isolation, yet together we can forge a shield of light. Let that light guide our actions, ignite our spirits, and illuminate the town of Elderswood." All at once, a blinding light erupted from within, intertwining with the energy surrounding them. Breathless, Sophia felt a transformation occurring beneath the surface. Love and unity began flooding into the hearts of the people, tearing asunder the darkness. The shadows dissipated, revealing the vibrant tapestry of their spirits intertwined like roots seeking the sun, reaching toward each other. As the stormy winds calmed, an overwhelming wave of love connected the starlit skies with the earth below. Collective prayer fell over the gathering, ushered by vibrations of hope that resonated within each of them. As the darkness fled, a musical harmony filled the night air, cascading over Elderswood, a chiaroscuro brilliance washing away despair, breathing renewed life into the hearts of all. The chosen ones stood together, united in love, a collective force unveiling the hidden light within. Sophia gazed upwards, visibly moved as she embraced her companions. They did not conquer an enemy. They became the embodiment of light, illuminating the love still lurking beneath the surface of fear. Yet, as they experienced this moment of unity, Sophia recognized it was merely the beginning. The world beyond Elderswood still yearned for transformation, and the echoes of their mission's purpose continued to call to her spirit. Together, they began to venture forth, aware that life was a continuous journey, a discovery of the heart, yet to unfold. As the radiant dawn began to break, Sophia smiled, feeling the warmth of love wrapping around everything, and so began the journey of the chosen ones to ignite the world into an awakening of a new era. The air turned heavy as the chosen ones stood at the center of Elderswood. The bright light they had ignited creating a stark contrast to the encroaching darkness. Sophia's heart pounded in her chest, each beat echoing in rhythm with the resolve pulsing within her. The storm had been gathering strength, and now it exploded into a frenzy of swirling energy. Shadows curled and twisted amid the chaos, seeking to snuff out the flickering candlelight of hope. In the very heart of the turmoil, a dark figure emerged, the embodiment of all their fears, a shadow clad in a cloak of despair. Its eyes blazed with an eerie fire, glowing with malice and resentment. The figure stepped forward, powerful and overwhelming, twisting the energy around them as it fed off the fear erupting from the town. "You think your light can extinguish the shadows?" It hissed, its voice reverberating like thunder, witnessing the collective trepidation of the townsfolk. "You are but a flicker in an infinite night. You'll only bring chaos." This moment felt suspended in time as all eyes turned to Sophia, the air thick with tension and uncertainty. The dark entity called forth the shadows, waving its hands in a swirling vortex, summoning their doubts and regrets. She could feel the energy shift, a weight settling in. Doubts flickered at the edge of her consciousness, sneering at her, threatening to unravel the unity they had forged. Fear twisted around her heart, a familiar coldness that threatened to sink in. Could she truly stand against this darkness? Was she strong enough to face it? She remembered the faces of her friends, the townsfolk, and all the hope they had built together. They believed in her. The connection they shared felt like a lifeline, pulling her back from the chasm of despair. Sophia closed her eyes, seeking solace in the energy they had cultivated, recalling the warmth of love and light. She reached deep within, where the sacred essence of her awakening resided. The darkness roared, clamoring for her surrender, but she felt the glow of her spirit radiate, fueled by the love they nurtured together. It was time to confront the darkness, not with rage, but with an unwavering love that refused to yield. With a voice steadied by purpose, she called to her companions, "We have come together in hope and love to dispel these shadows. It's not just about confronting this darkness. It's about revealing the light within us. Stand with me. Let's face it together." As she spoke those words, the energy surged in the space around them. The power of unity kindled a flame that lit the air aflame. In that defiant moment, Sophia felt every person in the circle connect to the stream of divine love. They began an incantation, a melody laced with the essence of their being. Each voice harmonized, uplifting and intertwining with light, merging into a force that echoed through the storm, breaking through the cacophony of fear. The dark figure writhed and screamed, its form twisting grotesquely as the unyielding waves of love pushed against it. Sophia realized that their union was not just a defense against the shadows, but a powerful declaration that love could overcome anything. They were the flames in the darkness, and every heart beating in resonance was like a beacon of hope piercing the void. With each chant, the shadows around them began to flicker and dance, weakening in the face of their radiant light. As the swirling entity loomed closer, seeking to pull their strength, Sophia knew this was her moment of piercing clarity. A moral dilemma arose as the memory of the dark entity whispered its temptations. Would she sacrifice her light to rid herself of the fear? Suddenly, unbidden memories crashed over her, the faces of childhood friends, family, and laughter shared in her moments of belonging. Those memories held the essence of who she was, bound with untamed joy and love. And in that realization, she understood what she needed to sacrifice: the need for assurance and control over her journey. By letting go of that need, she could fully embrace the truth of who she was meant to be, without the bindings of fear. "I will not yield," she declared, stepping forward into the tempest of shadows. "I embrace my fear, my pain, and my vulnerabilities. They make me whole, and I choose love over despair every time. I will shine." With that declaration, a brilliant white light erupted from within her, cascading outwards and illuminating every shadow that had clung to her spirit. The others echoed her sentiment. Their individual lights joined together, swelling into an orchestra of luminosity that engulfed the dark entity. The shadows screamed, rebelling against the unified energy that bound them, and with one final chord of love and intent, they were expelled, dissolving like mist before the sun. Silence reigned as the darkness released its grasp, its form dissipating into the ether as the dawn broke anew. Gradually, the sun crawled over the horizon, washing the town square in warm hues of gold and orange, reawakening life where once there had been fear. The people of Elderswood blinked, emerging from paralyzed anxiety into a sense of renewed purpose. Sophia exhaled deeply, feeling the tremors of battle fall away. Around her, the chosen ones embraced, their energy buzzing with triumph. They had faced the darkness together and awakened a powerful truth: they were never meant to walk alone. The light that radiated from each heart intertwined, taking root in the very fabric of their existence. This was no victory over shadows, it was a testament to love's enduring power. As the townsfolk approached them, wonder and gratitude blossoming on their faces, Sophia understood that their mission had only just begun. The echoes of the battle had heralded a soft awakening, a call to action not just for the chosen ones to guide others, but for the whole of Elderswood to be a part of the light. As the warmth of the sun bathed Elderswood in a golden embrace, Sophia felt a profound sense of peace wash over her. The shadows had retreated, but the memory of their confrontation would remain etched in the hearts of the townsfolk and the chosen ones alike. They stood, united, witnessing the first rays of light breaking through the remnants of fear, signaling not an end, but the dawn of a new beginning. The faces of the community around her glowed with gratitude, their eyes shimmering with newfound determination. One by one, they stepped forward to express their thanks, weaving tightly with the chosen ones in a bond born of love illuminated in the face of adversity. Sophia embraced each person, feeling their warmth infusing her spirit, an unbreakable connection sprouting from this shared experience. "You inspired us all," a young girl declared, eyes wide with wonder. "You showed us that the darkness can't win when we hold hands and face it together." Such words resonated with the depth of truth that resonated in the air. As if on cue, Elena spoke up, her voice imbued with hope. "Let's not stop here. We've gathered the light. Now it's our duty to nourish it, to feed this flame within our hearts and share it with the world. The ripples of love we create can reach far beyond Elderswood." Sophia nodded, her spirit tingling with anticipation about the path before them. "Yes, we must carry this wisdom and joy forward, not just here, but as ambassadors of light in every corner of life. There are many lost souls out there yearning for connection, just as we were, and we have a responsibility to guide their way," she affirmed. With each passing moment, their mission began to crystallize into a vision far grander than she had initially imagined, an awakening that called them to spread love and light wherever they went. This was their purpose as chosen ones, not just for their own enlightenment, but for the transformation of the world around them. As they began to organize efforts for outreach, Sophia suddenly paused, the weight of realization settling like dew on her brow. The journey they had embarked upon was not merely a destination, but an incessant cycle of growth, learning, and connection. The challenges they would face were part of the journey, yet in unity, they could embrace the unknown with courage. Looking towards the horizon, she understood with clarity that the true transformation lay in the journey itself, where moments of fear became gateways to enlightenment. They would need to confront more darkness along their path, and with that knowledge came a sense of peace. Each individual had their own parts to play, yet together they formed a luminous symphony, reverberating powerful frequencies both near and far. With heart full, Sophia faced her companions alongside the townsfolk. Let's shine brighter. Let's transform our pain into power and guide others towards awakening. This is not merely a chapter in our lives. It is the very essence of our existence. And so begins our next journey. The townsfolk erupted in applause, a melody harmonizing their spirits. Together, they turned their gaze towards the vast expanse of this world still in need of nurturing. Questions lingered in the air: how many others were still waiting for a spark, for an invitation to step into their own light. As the sun climbed higher, its rays illuminating the lives woven into the fabric of the earth, Sophia realized that this moment, the elation of heart, the connection of souls, was the answer to the question that had begun her journey. They were part of a larger whole, a canvas still waiting for colors to be painted upon it. A flicker of excitement shimmered within her. Their mission had just begun. In the days that followed, the chosen ones became ambassadors of love and healing, their hearts entwined with the rhythm of elderswood. Together, they brought transformation to the lives they encountered, introducing light and hope into every shadow they met. Sophia found joy in building connections, leading community workshops, and inspiring people to embrace their light with open arms. And yet, deep down in her soul, she knew that this journey would be ongoing. One chapter completed, yet the pages ahead glimmered with possibilities. Standing here, amid the love and warmth of the people, she felt an undeniable truth echo through her being, a truth that linked her to every seeker, every chosen one who had come before her and would come after. As she looked toward the horizon, the sun enveloped her in its golden glow, whispering promises of tomorrow. The world was filled with infinite beauty and boundless potential. And with heart ignited, Sophia smiled, ready to embrace the unwritten adventures the universe had in store, knowing fully that they were just at the beginning of something extraordinary. A calling not only for herself, but for all who yearned to be awakened. With that thought, she took a deep breath, fueled by love, and stepped confidently toward the future.